Welcome back, everybody. This is another interview in our great interview series that we've got going here, Unsupervised Interview series. And today, I actually have way more than one person. I've got three individuals here, and they have all got very interesting takes on what's going on. But the first person I'd like to introduce you to is Tom. Tom is in charge of our partnerships here at DataVisor. So, Tom, I hand the floor over to you.
Great, that's great. Eric, thank you very much for the intro. This is Tom Shell, the head of alliances and partnerships for DataVisor. Really excited about what's happening. In spite of all that this unprecedented time that we're dealing with the COVID-19 and just how that's changed business, incredibly excited about some of the things that are happening in the partner world. Very happy to be joined by a couple of my counterparts from Microsoft. And just a quick intro in terms of what DataVisor is doing. Microsoft, everyone knows Microsoft, and Microsoft has sold a lot of technology in the cloud space. They have been a staple for large organizations everywhere around the world for decades. I'm surprised and happy to say that Microsoft has become one of the most strategic partners that DataVisor has, both in terms of the support that they're offering, but also just the focus on bringing real solutions to customers in a way that creates value in a very short period of time. And we're incredibly happy to be launching our products on the Microsoft Azure marketplace, where it'll be much, much easier for customers to access not only the power of the Microsoft platform, but also some of the technologies that are running on top of it. But real quickly, let me turn things over to Nick Leimer and Gerald Reed. Nick, maybe introduce yourself first and tell everyone a little bit about what you do at Microsoft and what you're seeing.
So I'm Nick Leimer. I'm the Principal Program Manager for Microsoft. I'm working with insurance providers and our partners across the globe and working to grow the use of our marketplace. And as I go out and recruit new partners and bring them onto our marketplace, I'm looking for really interesting providers that are really going to grow and support our customers. And DataVisor falls into that category. And I was super excited to bring them on and get them into our marketplace and see lots of potential for growth into the future.
That's great. Hey, Gerald, quick intro.
Yes. Thank you for number one. Thank you for having us. My name is Gerald Reed. I'm a senior partner development manager under our One Commercial Partner organization, and ultimately our core mission is to work with leading technology companies and within our specific group, building with technology software companies, and bringing the leading applications to market with focus around commercial application development. So that could start really on the front end with the development side of IP, really through building a go-to-market strategy and executing and developing joint value to our mutual customers, specifically within financial services.
Great. Well, Tom, thank you for helping the introduction of the group here. First, I actually want to start with you, Tom. We recently announced that we are officially live on the Microsoft Azure Marketplace. Can you talk about the importance of that announcement from our side of the house?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and thanks again, Eric. I think it's interesting. We've all been in technology in various forms of business development or sales for a long time, and figuring out ways or helping customers figure out ways to take technology and put it to use in a way that creates real value, helps to address risk. And specifically, we spend a lot of time in the fraud space. It is top of mind, especially given all that we're going through right now in this, again, unprecedented time. What I think, one of the things that's changed in the past few years is that our customers are much, much wiser about how they want to identify new capabilities and put those capabilities in place. They're not necessarily looking for raw materials, just the best technology platform necessarily. They're not just looking for a point solution. They're looking for relationships and providers that can work together to bring a capability that's strategic and has meaning and is extensible over a very long period of time. And I think as we translate that to what we're doing with Microsoft, Microsoft, again, as I mentioned, a significant platform in terms of technology, a very strong focus on value for customers. But they've turned out to be an incredible partner for us. And we think that it's going to provide a means for putting our technology and capabilities, and more importantly, the value that our technology and solutions can provide in the hands of customers around the world. In some instances, it's important to customers because they already know Microsoft. They have a strong set of capabilities and skill sets, so it's a comfortable environment for them to use. In other instances, it is simply an easier way to make solutions like Data Advisors available in parts of the market where it may be difficult or challenging for us to do work. For instance, we have some early prospects we're working with in the Middle East. That's not a territory that we typically would focus on as a high priority as a late stage startup like Data Advisor. But with our partnership and through our partnership with Microsoft, it gives us that kind of reach, and it gives us the ability to help people solve these sort of interesting and challenging fraud and risk problems and challenges around the world in a much, much shorter time frame. And having the support of a strategic partner and, again, an organization like Microsoft that really understands how to work with customers, they understand how to generate and create value and can provide us that kind of support, has become an incredibly important part of our strategy for channels and partnerships. And we're delighted with what Microsoft's helping us with.
Yeah, and I think you definitely brought up good points about, we are in a much better place because of the partnership here. And, you mentioned some of our customers, and I'm actually curious for the Microsoft team, what's the feedback that you guys are hearing from the customers that we, our joint customers about this integration? Nick, I'll let you go first.
Hey, great. No, I think as we are working with our customers globally, I'm just going to emphasize some of the things that Tom brought up. I mean, that's the real advantage of our marketplace is we can get out and make that available as broadly or as restricted as you'd like. And it's really that expanding your markets is where I see the huge benefits. And I'm glad to see folks from the Middle East. We actually have gotten a lot of traction in Africa as well with some of our partners there. So it's one of those things that we're really trying to expand our partners' relationships with customers globally. I think that's the real key to getting the most value out of a marketplace is for a fraud solution like Data Advisors is the ability to interact with customers everywhere in the world because fraud happens everywhere. And something that we see a huge interest now, especially with COVID-19. The insurance industry is anticipating and already seeing some significant uptick in fraud at all levels. So this is a perfect timing, kind of a perfect storm for getting Data Advisor out there to address issues that are top of mind for a lot of insurance companies right now.
And Gerald?
Yeah, and then from the one commercial partner perspective, really we're tightly aligned with our insurance enterprise operating unit, which is essentially our insurance enterprise sales team, and collectively we work together to drive impact and value to our mutual customers through really our business outcome approach, right? So that really lends well to independent software vendors like Data Advisor that have very specialized solutions within industry that can impact those business outcomes. Like as a few examples here would be really around, say, for instance, streamlining core processes or enhancing policyholder experience, right? Or just even modernizing experience for our mutual customers. So it's and of course you guys are running on Azure, so it's it provides value in a number of different ways, whether it's on the technical spectrum, whether it's around technology and talking about platform, or whether it's really around building a go-to-market or sales strategy to really deliver value to our customers while driving adoption of our cloud platforms in the process. So it's a win-win.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. It's definitely a win-win, or at least a major win on our side. Having a brand like Microsoft backing us, it's never a bad thing. And I actually have an open question for the three of you, and I will actually, since I've gone to everyone else first, Gerald, you're up next.
Sure.
Would you be able to discuss kind of in general the overall benefits of this partnership, for the customers on a joint side?
Yeah, no, like I mentioned, it really boils down to our business outcomes, and that's been really a big shift and evolution in terms of how we look at quote unquote co-selling with our partners, and that's been a work in progress over the past 3 years, and it's it's critical to our success because, obviously we're just seeing even real time or just, day to day, and we see the numbers, that Gartner and Forrester reporting, just the, how big of a market digital transformation is, right? And that's so important for us because you have to understand we're natively an IT-centric organization, right? So the value of working with partners, but at the same time with partners, for Microsoft, we've always led with partners and we always focus on partners and we always drive and deliver with partners. But a critical step in terms of making digital transformation applicable to our customers is to really align IT versus line of business, right? So that's why I really bring up Microsoft and the IT-centric really audience that we've had historically, but really looking at industry-leading and industry-disrupting software vendors like DataVisor that can impact insurance, financial services, and a number of other markets, right, with specific use cases, but also having access to that line of business audience. And together, that's where we really see that marriage work and that partnership really blossom in terms of being able to articulate and deliver a cloud strategy to some of these customers. Because the customers may have heard of the cloud or express interest in the cloud, but it doesn't become real in terms of until we can actually put into day-to-day application for our mutual customers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that makes a lot of sense in terms of, even from my personal side, everyone's heard of the cloud, but being able to see what the real results might look like does help. Nick, let me pass the ball over to you.
Okay, great. Just to add a little more to what Gerald was talking about, I think it's, to his point, which, Microsoft, that's just an IT thing. Oh, they have your Windows, they have their Surfaces, that's just hardware stuff. But I think the advantage of the marketplace, and the really exciting part, is that you can interact directly with the line of business customers. So if they have a specific need, in this case, insurance, and then financial services as well, it's really, where do I go to find solutions? And the marketplace is an easy way for them to interact and make a lot of decisions and buy software directly without having to go through their IT department. They can. I mean, that's where you have multiple storefronts, and things that are driven purely from the IT side work fine too. But we can also have things that are driven completely by the business side. And in my background, I've worked on both sides, the actuarial side and the IT side in insurance companies. And it's like, especially in insurance, there's really a marriage of both those teams and how they make decisions, especially about middle office and back office type software and fraud detection, claim processing, all those pieces. They really want to make sure that the technology works, is available, and delivers, and also meets the business side as well. So having that information in the marketplace and easily accessible by both parties is a real benefit. It makes this whole sales process a lot easier, and it can really be driven from both sides at the same time, or completely separately, and still getting benefit for the customer and for our partners.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, coming into this company, right off the bat, I knew like financial, insurance, things along those lines, those are obviously going to be tied in. So from a fraud perspective, absolutely. And Tom, I want to kind of go to you last, but certainly not least. From your side, what are you seeing and what are you thinking?
Yeah, sure. No, I think that there's a common theme, right? And again, we've been in this market for a long time. I've been in technology and sales, all of us. I think that once upon a time when we were selling things to IT and selling things to the business, we talked in terms of return on investment and total cost of ownership. And you talk about these time horizons that are really, really long, right? I mean, multiple years until things kind of pay off. I think things have changed. When business comes to us and they're looking for solutions, they're looking to measure this in a speed to value or a time to value that's measured in weeks or months or quarters, not years. And so I think when you look at delivering capabilities via Marketplace with Microsoft, it provides a known capability. It's a comfortable relationship. Your ability to get to a working solution and dealing with risk or eliminating fraud or whatever it may be is measured in a very short time frame. And I think things have changed over the past few years. Now we're thinking in terms of, can we demonstrate that we can find more fraud and reduce false positives in the financial services or insurance space? Can we do that in weeks? Years ago, we would try to measure that in months. It might take a year to develop a machine learning model where you could even identify fraud reliably at some particular rate. Now we talk about showing up and within 3 or 4 weeks, proving that we can find more fraud and even reduce the false positives, those sort of false outliers in detection. And so I think conditions have just fundamentally changed. And this is incredibly important just given the need to respond to circumstances in an environment like we are now, where we're working from home. All of the models that have been built around, what fraud is and sort of normal behavioral patterns for people working in commerce, in insurance claims. Most of those models are broken because all the data volumes are different. And so an ability to, again, show up with everything that's required to demonstrate and show business value and do so in a very short period of time is going to be based on relationships and partnerships like what we have with Microsoft. We can't show up with our own solution that operates in a silo any longer. It's not enough that you bring all the raw materials and you throw them at a customer and let them go build something. Now we've got to show up together, infrastructure, technology, innovation, a business solution, business value, and a technical expertise. And that can only be done when we show up together. And that's, again, coming back to what's strategic and interesting about the partnership with Microsoft is we have the ability to do that and eliminate lots of barriers that make it hard to acquire a new solution and stand it up. That's another. The marketplace just makes it very easy for us to do a sales pitch, talk about the value, and then a customer can go on and turn a solution on and have it up and running in a matter of weeks very quickly, and they're getting value almost instantly. That's really where we're trying to go and why we're going to continue to invest in this relationship as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that makes sense. And, it is such a different time in the world. I can't, if you had told me that this is what we would all be doing 5 months ago, however long ago we started this, I probably would not have believed you, but here we are. And it kind of leads me to that last question, which is, you talked about that it is such a different time and the need is now. But with that need comes future look. And the future look today is obviously drastically different than what we were imagining probably when this partnership started. So I'm kind of curious, what is in the pipe that you guys are, working towards that our customers might be able to, see some benefit from a joint, partnership side of things. And I'm going to change up the direction a little bit. I'm first going to go with Nick, and then I'm going to go to Tom, and Gerald, I'm going to have you close it out.
All right.
Okay. So, I think from the Microsoft perspective, we see lots of value in our marketplace, and it's something we're investing a lot into, both from supporting and promoting our partners through social media events and blogs and our sales teams, and really pushing everyone to go and transact through our marketplace for partners, as well as our first-party solutions as well. So that's where we're heading. I mean, marketplace is, even through all its different storefronts, is something that we're pushing really big in the next fiscal year, which starts July 1st. So that's something that we're really looking at, and we see growing, both adding more partners that can team up with our current partners like DataVisor, and really have these sort of bundled solutions and additional integration points. And again, growing globally and making that the frictionless transaction possible, and really expanding that wherever we can, and really adding benefit for our customers.
Definitely. Tom?
I think, I'll continue to drive, that message. I think when I think about DataVisor and our direction and focus, we're going to continue to emphasize marketplaces as a way to put value and capabilities in customers' hands more quickly. We have a couple of solutions, one of which is very much focused on the data science community. We have another solution, which is really our flagship unsupervised machine learning product, which, is is a digital signal that helps organizations identify, risks or sources of risk and patterns of fraud that no one's ever seen before. Which, given how unpredictable the current environment is, right? That kind of a solution is incredibly important. But we're going to continue to make investments around other digital signals related to fraud and risk with some of our other products. We'll be adding, broader modeling capabilities for the data science community and more packaged solutions that focus on what businesses are looking for in terms of managing the operations of risk. And again, I think that's what customers are expecting. Now, I think things have forever changed. I mean, we talked about the unprecedented nature of the working environment we have. I don't think that this stay-at-home kind of working method is going to be the permanent sort of way that we do our jobs every day, but I do think things have changed. I think that all businesses in every industry, in every sector, and this is especially true in financial services and insurance, kind of the core industries that we work in, it will be shifting even more heavily into an online, digital, transactional mode of business. And I think that is going to become the rule, not the exception. And so I think working remotely, people interacting at scale from a distance is going to be kind of the standard. And the opportunities for fraudsters to take advantage of that kind of environment is just going to drive the demand for partnerships, the solutions that can be made available via the partnerships like we have with Microsoft. So we're going to continue to invest, we're going to continue to go hard, and we're going to continue to emphasize how our relationship with Microsoft can, again, drive a level of change and protection and risk management around the world, regardless of what's happening, around us.
Well, hopefully this will not be happening around us for the foreseeable future. But Gerald, you're up next, and you are definitely not last.
I appreciate that, and I would just really tie home Nick and Tom's message into really just two main points, right? So one, Tom brought up a very good point. I mean, the market has changed, the environment has changed, and it's certainly starting with COVID, but even just through COVID, right? I mean, a lot of insurance is a very specific use case and a very relevant use case where you're just seeing just a spike in claims, but then even with more relevancy to the data advisor, a spike in fraudulent activity, right? And the insurance companies were not ready to handle that type of spike or that type of disruption, right? And that's where the technology and our partnership really have come into play. And to Tom's point, that's relevant right now, but that's not going to change moving forward. I mean, the industry has changed, and I think previously we would perhaps be selling the value of this, but I think the opportunity that the COVID crisis has presented us is that, I mean, it's real, it's happening, it's right now, and sometimes the best way to really articulate the value of it is for customers to feel it, and I think that is what's happening right now. So we see a tremendous opportunity to really build upon that foundation and really share that message in terms of why it works. And to bring up Tom's earlier point, really around our joint capabilities, right? Tom mentioned speed to market. Tom mentioned the specific use cases around his solutions. And when you're playing with data and when you're really analyzing data for customers, it's important to have a very, very secure platform. And I think that's really what our joint partnership extends. It's the data advisor's capabilities, right, and speed to market, but building on top of the Azure platform, where we're focused very much on security first and foremost, right? Our mission, our core statement is really around Microsoft is built on trust. So I think it's a great partnership that we're super excited about, and I think we're just beginning. And then to kind of tie that off with Nick's mission, not only do we want to extend the message and extend the partnership into our business outcomes, say here in the U.S., but I think with the marketplace and being able to transact and procure on the marketplace, we're able to expand that reach to say some other markets that might feel the need but might not have that level of visibility just yet. But I think that's where our partnership can really extend beyond what we're doing right now and hit that global scale. So yeah, I appreciate the partnership.
No, absolutely. We appreciate the partnership as well. I think I speak for Tom and the rest of DataVisor when I say that. But I appreciate all of your guys' time. I'm hoping that at some point we can do this in person. But up until then, we'll have another round of these interviews, and I'm expecting that, in the near future, we'll be talking about what is next for this partnership. So once again, I appreciate all your time. Gerald, Captain Nick over there with your headset. And of course, Tom, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And, until next time.
Great.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes, Eric.